Why is it a man, not She-Hulk?
Why couldn't it?
Well,
If Leah Thomas could be the greatest female sports star on the face of the globe, then
Woman of the year.
freaking Mark Ruffalo should
Woman
be
of the year.
She-Hulk.
or Leah Thomas should be She-Hulk.
Leah Thomas.
I actually thought that's how they were going to cast She-Hulk at first.
Nerdrotic.com.
I think She-Hulk is quintessential MCU. I think it's the absolute fucking worst thing they've come out with. It is the worst written, worst edited, worst fucking shot. And what makes it like absolutely the worst is She-Hulk is a cool fucking character that I read for decades and loved for decades, and they fucked it up, and they fucked Hulk up within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 fucking minutes.
Less than that.
He's like Hulk in the MCU is just it's crazy because obviously when you had the recast for Avengers and bring Mark Ruffalo in there, you're like, okay, we're gonna start something new with this character. There is a place for it to go, and he was intriguing. His story was, like compelling, especially like all of the mental stuff that he was going through and had to deal with. It. They did a really good job of bringing that out in Avengers. Well, they just basically minimized all of that in She-Hulk. And we've seen him throughout the years just become a cock and become a character they clearly don't know what to do. They've admitted that. They're like, we don't know what to do with Hulk. So we're just going to make him a stepping stone for She-Hulk to show how much better she is than him.
Yep.
And we've said that in the previews. We got some pushback. Oh, maybe it's not like that. You can tell in this first episode that's exactly what it is. She does not struggle with a whole lot in this episode. She immediately is able to control herself. She's immediately able to do all these things. And she legitimately has a fight with Hulk. Like, She-Hulk, who has been this for like a couple days at this point, goes toe-to-toe with Hulk in something like he should just dominate her physically.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be a thing.
She's a different character. And
Well, he's Professor Hulk now. He doesn't have the same powers. At least he doesn't perform them like he should.
But they don't even call him Professor Hulk. They call him Smart Hulk.
Smart Hulk.
Where did he even get that? He was like, I wasn't the one. I didn't name myself.
That's what we called him like when we were 12. That was the 12-year-old name for Smart Hulk.
We're doing
that was never
spoilers, right?
official.
We're doing spoilers?
Oh, it's FNT.
I mean, like within we just got done watching it.
Yeah,
right?
we did.
Like
It was
within
painful.
2 minutes, we get the man shaming. Like that attorney that's in there with the two other. Like within 2 minutes, the man shaming. Within 7 minutes, we get a they, them, and a tranny or a drag queen. That one scene where she's like, "Oh, are you okay? Whoever did this to you, he or she or they," and then you see the trans freaks in there. It's like I think they know. They obviously know exactly what they're doing. I think they know exactly what they want to do.
Oh yeah.
They want to use the Hulk as the representation of what they're doing to men right now in 2022, and that's demasculinize them, destroy them, and make them look retarded. That's what I saw.
That's what they did.
Yeah,
I did.
Right out the gate. They waste no time.
Eric July, I think he came up with this term. I'm going to give him credit because I love Eric July. It's nostalgia bait. So they lure you in with the Hulk. They vandalize the Hulk. They build up a character that, I mean, like, was already built up. If they just went on the source material, which none of these freaking Bents watched, these little wine moms, if they're married at all, none of them read any of the books, know anything about the fucking comic books, know anything about Jennifer Walters, who, again, was a beloved character. John Byrne run. Remember the Fantastic Four? Bought her fucking comics off the fucking shelf. I own them all, by the way, and I've read them all, and this is not it. And no, she's not a feminist. The reason she's still popular is 12-year-old boys going through puberty. Okay, that's the reason comic books are popular. That's the reason they're still popular. And it's still a male audience. And doing research for my video, I went through and, by the way, a lot of women watch Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, it's
Wonder why.
Yeah. But the movies are pretty much 50-50. Male audience, female audience, on average. Marvel movies are about 60-40 men still. And it skews, and the ages are going up. Just like the CW, which got called out. You know, who in the fuck is this going to surprise? A bunch of 58-year-old dudes were, spanking it to fucking CW shows to see hot chicks make out. And then the hot chicks stopped making out, and I guess it was dudes after that. But
then they tried to. Then now they have to
and
sell
they never
their
turned a
organization.
profit.
They literally had an ad campaign that was like just focused on diversity. That's what CW did. And instead of maybe learning from any of these things, no, we just continue to push down this path. Kevin Feige, Victoria Alonso, they all told us, Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we don't really care about the story. What we do care about is equality and representation. It's a priority for for us to show more female superheroes than men in Phase 4.
That's from Kevin Feige's mouth.
One of the biggest things that probably we haven't talked about as much is the car crash scene and how she gets the powers.
Yes.
Right? How She-Hulk gets her powers, because it is a change from the comic books, which isn't a surprise for Marvel. But the way in which they changed, I do think is important. Instead of Bruce Banner saving her life with an making this decision, even though he knows the ramifications that could potentially happen, he saves her life and does a blood transfusion. She ends up getting the powers. Instead, she's driving, and she's a terrible driver because women, and rolls off the side of the road.
Takes her eyes off the road.
Takes her eyes off the road because she wants to talk about men being virgins and incels. So she drives off. He's got some random plot armor device, or just like some stupid thing they explain.
The inhibitor.
I have a bracelet.
And so they crash, and she, pulls him out of the car wreck. So she saved his life. They completely reversed it.
Yeah. Which takes because obviously, it's like an extension on the Bechdel test. It's like the Hollywood extension. And again, we've shown them on this show from the Roddenberry Foundation. They're called white papers, for lack of a better term. That went to all the writers' rooms that Robert Meyer Burnett found and had a problem with. And it's the new rules for writing. And you cannot have a man mentor a woman, and you can't have a woman receive power from a man ever. Well, that's a shitty way to tell a story. Like, you shouldn't have any rules. I mean, tell whatever story you want. And if
it's not reality.
It's not.
No,
Make a woke-ass story.
What
Make
about
a woke-ass
receiving
story.
a man's blood?
That's common in Hollywood.
They were forced to do that, and it was so low effort, Chrissy. It was like 3 drops of fucking blood around.
I mean, Mark
I'm no doctor.
I'm bleeding. Stay away from me.
I'm no doctor. I don't know if that's actually mixing blood with somebody. I mean, so in the comic books, Bruce Banner has a snap decision to make. His cousin is dying, and she has to get a full blood transfusion from Bruce Banner.
Not some drops.
And they don't have time to go and test other people's blood or anything. They got to do it like right now. This was just done for intersectional feminism. That's the only reason. They didn't change it for creative reasons. It was like, we can't have a woman getting shot because that's like fridging, Gail Simone.
Gail Simone knows a lot about fridges.
Yeah, she does. She really does.
Especially eating from them.
Yes. Well, she ate a fridge. I think she ate an entire fridge.
There you go. Savage She-Hulk #1.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Nice.
There you go.
But like with those rules you said, Gary, if you can't receive your power from a man and you can't be mentored by a man, it makes it very difficult to then write the first episode about a woman who receives her power from a man and is supposed to be mentored by that person.
Yes. A character who's supposed to be now a feminist icon who was like stripped in a bunch of her, they did the Vogue Demi Moore pregnant thing parody with her cover. She was just there. She was TNA for Marvel. She was tits and ass for Marvel. So we're going to make, just like with Harley Quinn, we're going to make them feminist symbol, and then what you do is make them unpopular because nobody cares.
First frame of the show, slowly pull back. RGB, all right there.
Yes.
All of the feminist icons in the background. They just, from frame 1, you knew where this was going.
Oh, that shelf?
The shelf full of just feminism.
And
Ruth Ginsburg.
And they were not kidding at all when they said they were inept at writing like lawyer drama.
Good Lord.
It was so basic, bitch. Like, we can't abuse power at the beginning there. And then they just cut away. She's like, and she's talking to the fourth wall, and they did it like in the least interesting way possible. And
but did you hear what the guy was saying?
Yeah, of course. Oh, because he was a guy.
My client may or may not have caused the deaths of many people, but it's just like, no, it all closes by that sort of nonsense.
No.
And her dialogue where she's like, oh, you're not going to be interested in this fun lawyer show until I explain the whole back. It's like, no, this is not going to be a fun lawyer show. So we're not going to do any of that
fun lawyer stuff for the... I mean, thank you.
Talks to you like you're dumb right off the bat. I am the most basic bitch of anybody on the show, and like,
it's true.
I didn't like any part of it. I had a really hard time. Like, they would do fart jokes, so you'd be like, all right, is this for kids? I had a really hard time like trying to figure out what demographic they were trying to appeal to, and
women that will never marry.
The fact that you said that this is
30-year-old women
produced,
who are single. That's who it's
the
for.
fact that you said this is produced like almost 100% female, it honestly shows, because it's this point of view that like women are very resentful. Like, they get this attitude, like they think they're fucking superheroes just because they menstruate and have a 9-to-5 job. And like, I know this because like I just like, I very much know this type of woman, and it's like these women that are angry that they have to work. Like, women tend to get resentful when they have to like take care of the house, do kids, and do a 9-to-5 job. And instead of cutting away some of these responsibilities so they can feel better, they instead just do it all and are very cunty about it. And that was the point of view that I'm very much getting from the main character. It's like she's like cunty about the fact that she is a lawyer and also has to like do laundry. It's like, well, then fucking don't be a lawyer. I don't know. I'm very tired of this like toxic female point of view. Like, oh, I have to do it all and I get my period. It's like, well, you don't actually.
Well, we haven't even talked about the scene that is like viral now on Twitter. The worst scene in the whole episode that kind of summarizes the entire scope of what this entire show is going to be. Of the MCU, totally, yeah. Phase 4. This is Phase 4. He's trying to teach her how to be the Hulk and how to control her changing from the Hulk back to Tina or whatever. What is her name?
Jen Walter.
Jen Walter. Tina. Where did I get Tatiana? That's where I was mixing it up.
Tina, eat your food.
So he's trying to
that was the
teach her
stripper
this.
from last night. That was his name.
That mixed it up. So he's trying to teach her this, and she's like, well, I can control my anger because I do it all the time. It's because I'm always controlling my anger on the street whenever I'm getting catcalled. And what decade is this? When I'm getting mansplained
by someone who I know their job better.
Incompetent men.
Incompetent men.
Yes.
Well, the whole time she's woman-splaining to the Hulk about how to be the Hulk.
It's crazy.
Like, it's
about
insane.
controlling anger, which is fucking
like that's.
ridiculous.
But remember,
he's trying to help you out.
She went from mansplaining to I could literally be murdered.
Right. Yeah. Right. Oh, to literally being murdered.
That escalated quickly.
We should check the crime statistics. See how many men are murdered every year in the United States.
Yeah,
it's a lot more than women.
Yeah.
The villain is already made clear. The big bad is just a heterosexual male. I mean, they check all the boxes. I mean, when I was watching it, even that scene after, I don't know if it was like the hotel or the motel, and then those people that come, those dudes that walk up,
the roving
heterosexual males are the rapists that want to get her.
Yeah.
It's just they make it very clear. They make it very clear.
I was thinking when I was watching it, I was like, the MCU's world is a horrible place to live in because every male is horrible. Like the Don. He's trying to get all up on her, doing the cat calling, trying to go, oh, come on, girl. Yeah. And now all these guys that she just walks out of a bar. Who was Tugs?
Thanos
Tug life
killed us all.
That Tug's life was yesterday. She was like, I travel along, like all over the place alone. I've been in New York. I've been in LA. I've been all over the place. Never been catcalled. So like, what universe is this happening in? And in what decade, in what century is this a common thing for women to go through?
She talks about the catcalling as if it's serious, because that's part of her serious speech.
Right.
And then at the end of the program, in the credits, what's she doing? She's talking about Steve Rogers' ass.
Yes. Did you see that ass? Like, that ass did not deserve to die a virgin. It's like so sad.
Oh my God, Steve Rogers' ass, that beautiful ass. How could that ass die a virgin? Oh my God.
That is
just
so
being
hypocritical.
a complete objectifying wench, because she's a hypocritical cow.
The worst one of those two bad parts in the show. That ending fight was so laughable. I laughed my ass off, and I was watching it over and over again. The editing is so bad.
Yes.
So she goes, who are you? And I'm Jennifer Walters, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, she's got a fucking bench in her hand. So then she throws it at SheHulk. SheHulk throws it back on top of her, and then the bench disappears again. And then she jumps up.
And then we're done?
Like a Power Ranger.
Like a Power Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody, I'm sorry for not giving you credit because I can't remember, but somebody put the Zohan up on Twitter, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Oh, God.
So,
And then after that happens, they show another gratuitous foot shot because apparently Dan Schneider, Schneider's
or
working
Joss
for
Whedon
Disney now, or
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. One of those foot freaks. There's so many foot shots in this.
There is.
They try to do special effects, and she's doing like a flying kick.
Yeah.
It almost comes off like those old school Japanese movies, like with those old special effects, where it's like you watch it now, it's like, oh, that's cool, that's really old school, that's what they did at the time. It's like, are they trying to do that, or do they just really suck?
I think they really suck.
Yeah. That's what I think. Even the fight on the island as well. The editing is just ridiculous. There's all these pauses and delays between her and Hulk, like yelling and screaming at each other. The physics doesn't even make any sense because she's in the Jeep or whatever she's in, and she literally like runs him over, like throws him like 50 feet.
When the Hulk is like would stop dead on the Hulk.
Yeah. The Hulk is like, I understand it's fantasy. I understand it's sci-fi, but that physics makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
He obviously weighs more than the damn Jeep.
Literally stop it with a finger. That Jeep would not have moved.
He picked up a rock, a stone, a massive boulder that's way larger than that Jeep.
This is the same guy.
This
is the same guy who fucking transformed and punched that Chitauri huge thing in New York in the Avengers. But what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that bench, when she threw that bench, the person, Tugs, thank you for this, fell before the bench hit her.
Oh, she did?
Yes! Yes! You can see her body going, and the bench hasn't even touched her.
No, the funniest part about that is when she's thinking about turning into the fucking Hulk, and she thinks about it more than she actually fights. Did you see what Titania is fucking, or Titania? I want to call her Tatiana.
Tatiana.
Sorry, drinker. I'm talking about
Might as well be Tatiana.
Titania. She's like slap fighting the fucking bailiffs.
Yes.
Like, all these men are hiding behind the benches, and they're like trying to grab her or something. You can't see, but they're sitting there doing this.
You just see
my fucking God.
So the bathroom draping scene, post-draping scene. So the ladies that were in there didn't advise to go to the police.
Nope.
But this was the most important scene.
It was the most important scene according to the writer. The most important scene was showing how much of a safe haven the women's restroom is and how nice women are to women.
There was a guy in it.
There was a dude there.
There was a guy in it. There was a guy in the women's restroom.
According to them, that's not a guy, according to their logic, that's not a guy.
I'm a little stuck on how nice women are to women.
Yeah, I was like, this is, out of this entire show, this is the most unrealistic scene.
Yeah.
They're like, here's my clothes, here's all my makeup, get out of there, girl, you're better than this.
Let's talk to the actual woman here, Drew Hernandez. Have you ever been in a women's restroom?
Well, I'm just going to be honest. I feel safe in restrooms when men are in there because men can protect me. So I think women most of the times want to be protected. Women want a daddy to tell them what to do. So I think that's what I think about this show. This show, like Az says, is like this 30-year-old millennial being projected on everyone through Disney Plus that has like 30 cats, that is privileged, that probably has like student loan debt that's going to like when she's going to be 70, thinks that, you know, being married is horrible, would rather just work a job, but she hates that too. But at the same time, she hates her life so much, she wishes she was married. She wishes she could stay at home and work because she would rather just be a stay-at-home mom and live a dope life than slave at a 9-to-5. And she really, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, these people really do want a daddy to tell them what to do. Straight
daddy
up.
issues all day long.
They need
daddy issues, yep.
Like, can you not tell that this character has like hardcore daddy issues when you watch it? That's what I get.
Well, in a show like this,
she didn't have a daddy.
You'd expect
so now she wants a daddy to tell her what to do.
The character arc to be her realizing
that's where Ryan comes in.
Realizing at the end, I do like all this. I do want a daddy. But no, this is going to be her entire character arc is going to be a straight line from being a cunt to being a cunt at the end. But you love her, right?
With how important the blood disposal was. We need a whole episode dedicated to what She-Hulk does with her tampons.
Don't get them.
These are real facts. What does she do?
Just saying, we need it.
Her blood is.
You've made it very important to the plot, haven't you?
What does she do?
He had to destroy the samples in the first episode, and she goes a bitch.
Well, no. They teased that there's potentially going to be another Hulk.
Well, there is. There's going to be a Red Hulk.
Red Hulk.
Yes.
In this series?
Wait, is he going to get red?
They might set it up in this series.
Okay.
I don't. You know what? No, I don't know that because we heard about fucking Mephisto like everywhere, and then the showrunner's like,
series.
never heard of him. You know, so like I don't care. Emergency Awesome will go out there and like peddle a bunch of theories that won't fucking happen.
If we get Red Hulk from Period Blood. We're done. We're done. You confirmed. We completed. Do it.
I actually want this to happen.
Do it, you cowards.
But he did say like there's you and me and there's one other member of the family. So he has teased that there is going to be a third Hulk.
Wait,
I
no.
like that period blood theory because the Red Hulk will be a male that identifies as a woman and that has the ability to menstruate because he was born out of menstruation.
General Ross,
Disney Marvel, we did it for you. We wrote your
General
show
Ross has passed away, so I don't know if they recast him with like Sam Elliott. Maybe use
Sam Elliott
one would be better, but I don't want anybody recast. I don't want Daredevil coming in. I don't like none of this.
Well, it's too late.
But,
he's the.
They're gonna fuck him up.
That's a different episode.
That is on this.
I can't wait for that episode when she tells him how.
What I'm the most surprised about is that IMDb clip that's going around that's getting fucking torched, and the stands can't even fight it. Like they can't.
Brilliant.
Well, there are some people that are being like, I just think this is so special to hear this, especially now
I'm
knowing
sure there are,
that it's
on
written
Twitter.
all by women. Yeah, it's Twitter people getting crazy likes off of it. But I mean, yeah, IMDb got ratioed to hell, and they were like, they put that out like, this is awesome. Say it again for people in the back. Yeah, whatever.
In the back.
And it's just her talking about how what she has to go through on a day-to-day basis is far worse than anything Bruce Banner has gone through. A dude who told us a story about how he's tried to fucking kill himself multiple times, but he can't. The other guy won't let him do it.
Killed by his father. Went and saw his lover killed later.
Yep.
His first girlfriend
leave the planet.
His first girlfriend.
His
first girlfriend's dad's been trying to kill him with the might of the U.S. government. He's has massive depression. He's tried to kill himself.
Yeah.
He's tried to kill himself. Yeah,
privileged white man.
But you know what? That's not as bad as being catcalled.
But she has law school debt, okay?
She does have law school
good
debt.
point.
Yeah, she has incompetent men telling her what to do in her life.
Good Lord.
Those are the real world problems, guys.
I could literally get murdered.
Right? Yeah, because men never get murdered. Like we have, we're totally just invincible when we walk around outside. It's kind of rad, really. You know what? I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry I can pee standing up. I'm not sorry I don't have a period, and I'm not sorry that I'm invincible when I walk around all the time.
Women can pee standing up. It's just a little messier.
It's a little messier. Well, then why aren't you doing it?
Some of us are.
Because they're the ones that have to clean the bathrooms.
That's real female empowerment.
Yeah.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.